Namaste and welcome to the Pi podcast.
Have you answered those questions?
Let's move on then to the other section. So we have the listening section.
We have two types of tests. We have the computer delivered version and the pen and paper test.
Try this pronunciation, sorry. Whoops, that's ironic. I mispronounced pronunciation. So you can do the reading, listening and writing on one day, and then the speaking happens on a separate day, doesn't it?
Sometimes they do it a week prior, sometimes they do it after a week, or sometimes it could be a gap of 2 hours in between all the modules, and it could be in the same day as well.
Get it out of the way in one day, that'd be very nice. And if you got a substandard mark that you need, let's say you got a 5.5 or a 6, you can just retake that one module, can't you?
It's only for computer-based in most of the states, and when it comes to paper-based exam, currently, city-specific has to be identified when you can only get this information from the IDF company, or emailing them could also help you to source the information. Because it's only particular states are catering for paper-based exam. If there is any of the modules you secure less percentage, then you can reattempt.
I see.
Yeah.
And an alternative to that would be, I think, going for a revaluation. So that could be done for that particular module. But I believe that's going to be fruitful for only speaking and the writing module, where we still stand a chance to get maybe a 0.5 increment. Otherwise, as you mentioned, I think this retake is only available in other cities, not in Jaipur as of now.
So let's talk about preparation strategies. What are the best tips you'd have for your students? We'll start with Asheen.
I would say read as much as possible, not with a view to cram things, but with a view to understand. You know, we have students who ask for vocabulary. Ma'am, if I could get vocabulary for this particular type of question or category of question, but I do not wish to share vocabulary with them because they tend to cram that and simply put it anywhere and everywhere in the answers. So the idea is you should be able to understand the way that word has to be used, and the correct usage is going to get you bands. And you know, with respect to the speaking part, or in fact writing for that matter, the more you practice, the speaking preparation is going to also help you somehow in the writing module and vice versa.
That's right. I think the more you speak, the more you get an idea of which words make sense, which words don't make sense, because you get instant feedback when you speak, don't you?
Yes.
So reading a lot and speaking a lot to people that can speak back to you is super important. I've done some studying about sort of language learning and language acquisition myself, and you really, there's a misconception I think a lot of people have, where if they just watch English movies or things like that they can learn that way. It can actually aid your learning, but really the beauty of language is the communication aspect. You need to be talking to people, you need to be getting feedback and using it in real life scenarios. And then obviously you can build your vocabulary by watching English shows and English movies, but it's important to understand that you're not going to learn English just from watching English TV shows.
True. This is very rightly mentioned, because I remember I had a student who said, "Ma'am, I watch movies and web series on Netflix, but still I'm not able to cope up with the grammar and this, the language part." Because see, the one thing that you need to understand is you have got audio-visual aid. So even if you turn off the audio part, those the subtitles are still there. Or if you turn off the subtitles part, that audio visual is going to help you understand the scenario better, and you'll be able to comprehend the actual scenario that is happening. So that's not going to ultimately help you in the writing or the language part basically. But as you mentioned, this can help learn the language a bit fast, I would say. That's only going to fasten the pace, that's it. Nothing more than that, I believe.
I think if you give yourself 20 minutes a day to speak to someone,
True.
build basic conversation. Does not have to be very fancy words, because we are not here to test your knowledge. We're only here to see if you can actually hold a conversation for uninterrupted flow for a minute or two, because that stimulates your thinking process, because you need to be a critical thinker, right, basically. Then that also enhances your decision-making skills. How quickly am I able to understand, comprehend, and reciprocate?
And there are places you can go online to find a stranger to talk to in English. And actually, I find actually ChatGPT is actually can be very useful as a language tool. You can start off a conversation with ChatGPT saying, "Can I have a conversation with you? Please, can you correct my grammar if I phrase a question wrong or if I say something wrong. You give them that instruction, and then you'll have a reasonably pleasant conversation with the machine. But they can actually give you straight away the feedback that you need as well when it comes to your writing, and it will obviously complement your speaking as well.
Well, Nick, that's a great suggestion that you've mentioned. ChatGPT could be a great help to students. And another option could be Siri or Alexa. Sometimes have a gang over there. Just play with them. Ask them for directions and let them guide you. Yeah, that's another way to build your confidence, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alexa's always listening. Why not give us something to listen to? Yeah. So what are some common misconceptions that people have about the IELTS exam, Rishi?
It's difficult for me to crack. These are the preconceived notions that people come up to us and they say that, make me do anyhow. I said, I can't teach you grammar, I can't teach you speak unless you put in your effort over there. Because 20 minutes of practice, speaking module diligently can actually secure your higher bands, and that will reflect in your writing as well. Because to stand in front of people is really difficult, isn't it? Who likes to get feedback in return? No one likes to. This is the reality of life. But then face yourself, accept the challenge, and you can do it well. And it's just in your limitation and authority that you can do pretty well for yourself. Yeah, challenge yourself. Stimulation is the only process that you can actually build your confidence up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always be in competition with your past self, right?
Very true.
Okay, I think that's we've covered pretty much everything that we needed to cover.
Absolutely, yeah.
And well, I'll love to have you back sometime to discuss more tips and going into more depth. Perhaps we could look at the writing a bit more, the speaking a little bit more. We could devote a whole hour to that, I'm sure, probably.
Anytime.
But well, thank you very much for coming in. And yeah, best of luck with the rest of your teaching and your students.
Thank you.
Our students. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.